Hello people watching this video or potentially just listening, Danny here. I don't typically do these types of now videos as in like talking about what has happened more recently or whatever. I did start Fresh New Babbles, but you know, it's a bit different. I won't be doing a ton of those. But if you're watching this and it's been a while since this video came out, just know that the thing I'm about to talk about was announced less than a week ago as of this recording. So just letting you know, when this is... Anyway, so as of this recording, again, less than a week ago, we got the announcement of Sonic Dream Team. And 99% of Sonic fans, me included, were so excited because the game looks so fun. We only got a few seconds of gameplay, but it looks so great from what we've seen. And then that excitement turned to frustration when we found out that it was going to be Apple Arcade exclusive. For those of you who don't know what Apple Arcade is, it's basically a subscription service with a bunch of games that you play on any of your, up-to-date Apple devices. Now obviously I'm not saying no Sonic fan has any sort of Apple devices. I'm sure a lot do, and I'm sure there's actually some that may already have Apple Arcade. I don't know that for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. So if you're a Sonic fan with the Apple Arcade subscription, you may be excited about this. But for a mass majority of Sonic fans, or anyone who just plays Sonic in general, are not happy about this. Now, there's already been a ton of people talking about this, so I'm definitely not the first, nor will I be the last. But that's the thing, I'm with 99% of Sonic fans. Now, I've already heard about 2 or 3 videos talking about how Apple probably funded this game and gave Sega the money to say, here, if we give you this money, you can make us a exciting new Sonic game exclusive to our subscription service. But for all we know, this could be a timed exclusive. We don't know that for sure. This could be a permanent exclusive thing to Apple Arcade, or it could just be temporarily exclusive. What I'm about to talk about today is just assuming that, yes, it will be permanently Apple Arcade exclusive. The thing I find most frustrating about this whole thing is the fact that this is the time that Sega decided to give a lot of Sonic fans what they've been asking for a really long time. Multiple playable characters in a fully 3D Sonic platformer. We haven't had that since Sonic 06. Now I know what some of you may try to say in the comments, well, what about Sonic and the Black Knight? What about Sonic Forces? What about Sonic Dash? What about the latest update for Sonic Frontiers? Here's the thing, those games are not exactly the best example of what I'm talking about. While you eventually got to play as multiple characters in Sonic and the Black Knight, you had to wait a little while, and that's a very automated game. Not as automated as Sonic and Secret Rings, of course, but it's also not fully 3D. Sonic Dash is a mobile game where it's fine, but you either have to grind a lot to unlock these characters, or you can pay real-world money. And Sonic Forces, well, you know the deal there. If you know the game, then you know that game sucked. I mean, subjectively, but it sucked. And Shadow was more of a skin swap Sonic, and the Avatar character was just, And while I can appreciate what they did with the latest update for Sonic Frontiers, I wasn't exactly a big fan of only being able to play as those characters, as Amy, Knuckles, and Tails, in just one world. And the fact that they made it a lot harder, I was not a big fan of that. So, all of this is subjective, but those aren't the best examples of what I'm talking about. I'm talking a fully 3D platformer akin to something like Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, and Sonic 06. Say what you want to about Sonic 06, the ideas at least were a lot better than a lot of what would come afterwards. And looking at the current character roster of Sonic Dream Team, we have obviously Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and we also have Amy, Rouge, and Cream. Up until the third big update for Sonic Frontiers, we haven't gotten to play as Tails, Knuckles, or Amy in a 3D platformer since Sonic 06. We haven't gotten to play as Rouge in a game like this since Sonic 06, and we haven't gotten to play as Cream in a game like this since Sonic Heroes. In fact, technically, this will be the first 3D Sonic platformer where you get to use Cream by herself. Well, with cheese too, but you know what I mean. And see, this is all exciting stuff, which makes it so much more frustrating with the fact that it's only on Apple Arcade. One thing is the preservation part. I mean, if Apple Arcade ends up dying, does this game die with it as well? Now, all this wouldn't be as frustrating if it wasn't for the fact that this was the first game that they've made like this in a really long time. Like, had we got a game similar to this in the past couple of years and it was really good, then yeah, we'd still want this on console and PC, but it wouldn't sting as much because we'd be like, I want this, but I'm satisfied enough with this game because it came out kind of recently, it was good, and you know, all that stuff. But it's been a really long time since we've got something like this, so that's why this stings even more. Now, whenever Sonic Racing was announced as an Apple Arcade exclusive, it was like, whatever, it's just a companion game to the mobile companion game to Team Sonic Racing. Like the mobile Sonic Racing games back in the day were companion games to the Sonic and All-Star Racing games. This one, whenever it was announced for Apple Arcade, that's when we got really frustrated. And like I said, I'm sure there's Sonic fans that have Apple devices of some kind, but I don't think a lot of them would even want to use their Apple devices to play this in the first place, to have to play it that way anyway. I personally don't have any Apple devices, at least not any that could play this if I have any at all, but even if I did, I still wouldn't want to have to play it that way. Now, when I say all this is speaking about seeing a few seconds of gameplay less than a week after it was announced. So for all we know of, it could end up sucking. We could have seen like just the best bits in the trailer, and then, you know, that's it. Like, that's the good parts of the game and the rest sucks or something. So that's entirely possible. But it could also be really amazing like we're thinking it is. So that's the frustrating part, is that we don't want to have to get Apple devices to have to play the stupid game. The thing that would make this situation even worse is if they ended up adding more playable characters in future updates and stuff, and then they decide to add a Chow Garden. If they did that, and it's still Apple Arcade exclusive, I might have to send some death threats. I'm kidding, of course, but that would definitely make me livid. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Sonic Dream Team coming exclusively to Apple Arcade, at least at this point in time, and why I'm frustrated about it. But let me know what you think in the comments about the whole thing with Sonic Dream Team and Apple Arcade and all that stuff. And like this video if you liked it, and subscribe for more of my videos. And thank you for watching. Or listening.